Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Renewable English. We are now on series number 3. This one is called Cultivating Changemakers. It has been quite a while since our last live lesson. Well, other than the one at 12 o'clock today, but since before that, it was last year. And I've been trying to get this started since November, but finally we have done it. We are here, we are back, and we are very, very happy to see you. So, before we continue, before we get on with the show, let's have a look here at where you can find us. You can find us on many socials. You can also find us on Twitter, but I'll be honest, I don't go there very often. And of course, I imagine, unless you found us through the website, you probably found us here. So welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along. You have found us, and let us begin. It's so nice to have you back. And this series is all about changemakers. It's all about what they are, who they are, and how we can be them. And maybe we're already a changemaker ourselves. Who knows? We'll certainly know by the end of today, and if we don't, then we'll definitely know by the end of the series. We have got 12 different lessons for you, ranging a number of different subjects to try and ignite your passion so you can go on and be the change maker that you want to be and make the difference that you want to in the world. So let us start the same way we've started our previous 2 series, which I'm sure you know about. The first one was all about individual actions and learning the first steps into being more sustainable. The second one was about the Sustainable Development Goals, and this, the third series, is all about taking those steps towards change making. And the first thing I think when I think change maker, the first thing I think is it's all about John Lewis and the quote that he came up with. So let's have a look at it. Now, you've probably seen it on an inspirational shirt or two. I can see Naveen is back as well. I'm sure Naveen's going to know all the answers. Hi there, good morning from California, Planet MC, lovely to see you. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And let's take a quick moment to think about this quote. Hi there, Anna, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us today. An absolute pleasure. And this quote from John Lewis is, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? Hi there, PSZCZOLAPL. I'm not sure what that name could be, but it's a pleasure to have you here. So this is something I always think about when parents ask me, or management ask me, or other teachers, or teacher trainers, or students. They say, why me? Why do I have to make a difference? Why do I have to make a change if my friend isn't, or if my government isn't, or if this person isn't? Why should I make a difference? And all I think is, well, if we don't, then who's going to? And if we don't do it right now, then when are we going to do it? So this quote is as relevant now as it ever was. I wonder how you feel about this quote, or if there are any other changemaker quotes. Of course, feel free to share them with us. If you do want the worksheet for today's lesson, if you're watching back later, of course, feel free to check this out. Oh, look at that. They're reading John Lewis's March. It is a great quote over there in California. That's a fantastic thing to look into. Certainly do go and check it out. He's a wonderful, an activist, a politician. He passed away a few years ago, but after changing so many lives. One of the Obama's biggest inspirations as well. So if you don't know about John Lewis, do check it out. Do check him out. He is one of those wonderful change makers that maybe outside of the States we don't hear enough about. We are going to now look at some change makers from history. Go and check who they are, and let's see if we know any of these change makers from history. But before we do, let's go back and have a look at these people. Do you recognise these people? Oh, some of Anna's dear students are here as well. Just taking a quick sip. Nice cup, right? So how many of these people do you recognise? This was based on a very Spanish audience when I looked for this to see. There were so many other celebrities I could have chosen from. But in the end I chose these. Do you think you recognise them? Or if you're a teacher, would your students recognise these people? Okay, we've got 1 out of 4 there. So I wonder if he knows Messi, or she knows Messi, Mbappe and Neymar, or is it Shakira and Piqué? Is it Rihanna there, the image from the Super Bowl show, or is it the Jenner sisters, of course, that we have there, who are very famous for being famous? So they are the first group of people that I wonder how many us, our students, the world would recognise. Let's have another look at these wonderful people. Shakira, indeed. And I know more about Shakira and her breakup than a lot of other things at the moment, because that's what steals the headlines, isn't it? We're often reading about, Shakira broke up with this person. Well, we should be focusing on perhaps slightly more important issues. Yes, we've got Lincoln there. Very good. We do have Lincoln right there. Fun fact, until I was 10 years old, I thought his name was Adrian Lincoln, not Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. So we do, of course, we have Lincoln. Some stars are renewable. Nice. Some stars are renewable. You are right. There are some superstars that are out there making big differences in the world. We're going to look at one of them soon. Mr. Beast, of course, who does do some good things as well. And if they use that chance to people like Billie Eilish really making noise about it, it would make a huge difference. So here we have some historical change makers. Now, I obviously didn't find these people from their Instagram, but here they are nonetheless. So we all got good old Adrian, of course, Abraham Lincoln. Right below him is Edward Jenner, who discovered the smallpox vaccine. Now, as this is an English class, I'll give you a fun English fact. The word vaccine comes from the Latin word for cow, vaca, which they say in Spain as well. So the word actually comes from cow because Jenner used cowpox to eliminate smallpox. So that's why vaccine has the same name as a cow. Here we have Rosa Parks, who shows us just how much one small act can resonate with the rest of the world. Not sitting at the back of the bus made such a difference and such a change, and it's such a monumental moment in history. Then we have Katherine Johnson, who helped humankind get to the moon, an absolute genius of her time. And here we have Emily Wilding Davidson, who was a suffragette and threw herself in front of the king's horse. So these change makers are perhaps not as recognisable as the ones on the previous page. And I think it's time that we talked more about these wonderful individuals and looked at their achievements. But that's not for today. That's for another day. And now I'm going to look at some of my favourite role models from right now. Do you recognise any of these wonderful change makers? Feel free to put it on your worksheet, or of course, if you want to put it in the chat box, go ahead. Now, these are what I like to call intergenerational inspirations. These are role models for everybody. They're not just role models for young people, although they are excellent role models for young people. So if you are a young person, check out these models to roll yourself on. These roles to model yourself on. Ritik is here. Hello, sir. Lovely to see you. Always a pleasure. Great to have you back in the Renewable English classroom. Fantastic to have you here. So here we have some modern day change makers. You may know Malala, a huge female rights activist and education for girls. We also have Fionn Pereira, who is an award-winning scientist, the Google Award. He's found a way to remove microplastics from water, an absolute genius. We've got Clover Hogan, who's a leading voice on eco-anxiety And then, of course, Kids Against Plastic here in the corner, Amy and Ella Meek, who have had such a profound influence on my life and this other one's life. And perhaps a future change maker, that there is my daughter, who incidentally on Monday will be giving her first ever speech, which is quite exciting. So if anyone's in Barcelona, I'll see you at the World Retail Congress. But these are the type of people that I hope my daughter will grow into. You know, I hope she sees these as an inspiration and maybe not looking towards celebrities who perhaps don't make a huge difference where they could. Perhaps don't make their voices heard the way that they should. Yes, it is a wonderful book. You're absolutely right there. It's fantastic. Just referencing the chat for anyone who's watching back. So, a big question. Oh, I've got the answer to the next part right there in the background. That's coming up in just a moment. Who or what is a change maker? Who or what do you think is a change maker? In your words, what would you define as a change maker? I'll give you a moment while I take a sip of this evening coffee. Not a good time to drink coffee, Harry. A bit silly. What are you going to do? Everyone who wants some changes, I like that. I like that. But it's more than just wanting the change as well, isn't it? Because, you know, I want to be tidier. But until I try and make that effort to make the change, I'll still be a messy person. Exactly, there you go. Somebody who wants to do some changes. Look at that teamwork there. Anna and PSZC Zola PL. There you go. Look at that. That's teamwork for you. Teamwork is dream work. And what we have here are a few different ideas of what we could have as a change maker. Someone who is taking action to solve a social problem. A person or thing that changes bills, notes, or for want of smaller denominations. And a person to bring about positive social change. Lovely there. Anyone who makes a little contribution to the future. I love that, Ritik. And making the world a better place for other people, of course. So, what do we think? Someone who is someone who is willing to go the path less travelled to make a difference and show others a better way as a change maker. Said from the Planet MC there, whose album is out, I believe. He dropped us a message earlier. So, would you like to put that in the chat there, Planet MC, so everyone can check you out? It would be lovely. You did mention it right before we came on, and I can't wait to check out as soon as I log off. So, this is something that always troubles my students. This first one here. Someone who is taking creative action to solve a social problem. Someone who is taking creative action to solve a social problem. My students say, teacher, I'm not creative. Teacher, you see, I'm not good at painting. I'm not good at music. I'm not a creative person. In this sense, creative isn't just, can you build a model with some clay? It's more than just that. Creative is finding a way around a problem. And that's basically it. A way that hasn't been used before, or a way that isn't the obvious way to go around a problem. So, a creative way to solve the plastic problem. Plastic bags, you go to your supermarket and you ask the people working in the supermarket not to offer people bags. That's a creative action. And depending where we are, our influence goes to different lengths. I'm not going to say I will get all plastic bags banned in the whole world, but I know I could make it happen in one supermarket here if I worked really hard. And I could make my parents stop doing it, or my friends. I have that idea and I can share those creative ideas. Now the next one. A person or thing that changes bills, notes, or coins for smaller denominations. A change maker for making change when it comes to money. No, not funny. It's a dictionary definition. When I looked for dictionary definitions of change makers, that was there. So It is, but it's a different kind of change maker. And the last one, also very important, is a person committed to bringing about positive social change. Somebody who actually goes out there to do it. They take those steps and they're committed and they don't stop. And maybe they get knocked back, but they try again. And they get knocked back again, but they keep trying. I think it's vital that we keep up with this and make sure we are committed. Because if you give up, well, what's the point in even trying if you're going to give up? So don't give up. Keep going, be committed. And I just realised that was gone in the background. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. So they are a few ways of looking at what a change maker is. Now let's look at the traits of a change maker. Let's have a look at these images here and see if we think we recognise them for these different traits we have at the side there. We've got intentional, connected, creative team players. There you go. It's tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow. The environmental hip hop album made with students. Brilliant. Planet Eco Rap on all platforms on tomorrow, Earth Day. So everybody check it out. Planet Eco Rap, all platforms. I'll tell you what, I need to speak to you as well, Planet MC. I've written a rap, and I'd love to go over it with you. So anyway, I shouldn't be talking about this now. We should be looking at the pictures. What are you doing, Harry? I don't know. So these are some of the things you need to be a change maker. If you are a change maker, you are, of course, as you can see here, you can see on the worksheet, you are connected. You're connected to the planet. You're connected to the problem. You're connected to your community. You're connected to everything. You're connected to the problem. If you are not connected to the problem, you won't want to change it. You won't be a change maker. Simple. The letter B is, of course, team players. They're team players. It's very difficult to do something all on your own. You know, you need to work together. Renewable English would be nothing without the support I have from these wonderful people that are here, the wonderful students that come along, the amazing teachers that encourage me to carry on with it. So hats off to all of those people within the community, within the team, out there stepping up their efforts to make a difference. The letter C is intentional. Intentional. You try to make a difference. You are out there, you're trying to make a difference. You're going at it with an intention. You're looking to make those differences. You know, you're making your student collaborated raps and you're going out there and you're trying. You have a goal and you have a purpose and there you have it. To be motivated. As a change maker, you're going to get knockbacks. Things aren't going to go your way. There are going to be days when it seems like there's nothing you can do. That's going to happen. But you need to be motivated. You need to step up, you need to keep going, and you need to make a difference. You cannot rest on your laurels. You need to be motivated to see what the end goal is. And of course, as we mentioned before, creative, which could be writing a rap like Planet Eco Rap, of course. Don't forget to check it out tomorrow. It could be like something I'm working on with Macmillan. It's called changemakersworld.live. You can be creative and share your creative ideas there, up on their hub. All of the things you're doing in your classes, it's really easy to upload. It's a creative team player activity. But to be a change maker, you need to have all of these traits. You know, you can't have two of them. You can't have one of them. You need to have all of them to be able to keep going and keep pushing to continue to make a difference, continue to make changes. But what type of change maker are you? What type of change maker would you like to be? There are all sorts of different change makers. When you hear the word change maker, people often think of it as a synonym for activist. And there's that negative connotation with an activist, someone who's angry about everything and always fighting. Well, do you know what? We need those activists as well. We need every type of change maker there is. Because if we don't have every aspect of change making covered, nothing will change. If you don't change something, nothing will ever change. It's as simple as that. Easy. Simples. easy peasy lemon squeezy. But not all of our students, not all of us, not everybody in the world wants to be a screamer. Not everybody wants to be on the front lines fighting to bring down the patriarchy and destroy capitalism. Not everybody's saying that. There are people saying it, thank goodness. There are people stepping up in the fight against fossil fuels and so on, because there are so many different types of changemaker. Let's have a look here at some of the different options. We have people like Jimmy Wales of Wikipedia. So we have designers, policymakers, organisational leaders. So we can look at the politicians who are actually making an effort to make a change would fall in here. And now, perhaps the most important. They're all very important. I'm only saying it because it covers two of me. Educators, researchers, journalists, and parents. Hello there, Pratap. It's lovely to have you. So these people, these are the way that we can spread the message through these people, spread the ideas. But also, I think students would go in here, because as a teacher, I try and help my students the way they want to be helped, and I listen to my students and I learn from my students. So I would add that to that mix, because they do it quite a lot as well. Next up, impact investors. Something that seems impossible for us when we don't have a lot of money. Oh, here we go. Ritik says, I want to be a change maker who takes simple steps to inspire my students to be true steward of Mother Earth. Ritik says he wants to be that change maker. Everybody knows that Ritik already is that change maker. He is incredible. Saturdays for Solutions. This man is just brilliant. I have learned so much from Ritik. Again, hat off, kind sir. Frontline people who motivate others. Yeah, these are ordinary people who do basic little steps. Both types are needed. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. We need all these types, investors as well. We can help our students learn the right way to invest, the right banks to open, so they're not giving money to those banks that pay £37 billion a year in to oil companies and fossil fuels. Then we have community organisers. These are the more traditional frontline activists, the ones that we look at and think, that's a change maker, because they're the ones on the screen. They're the ones screaming and shouting and getting everyone excited about making change. And then we have engineers and scientists. These are the people who are inventing things. They are creating things. They are solving problems that exist. So let's have a look at who is what. The first one is a social architect, which I spelt wrong in the first part. You can see at the top there. It says social architect. These are the people that make the end decisions, that make the big decisions that need to be made. Hi there, Praveen. These are the big things that need to happen. When we're talking about bans on exploring for more fossil fuel, this comes from these areas. Educators, researchers, journalists, and parents. We are the amplifiers, like Anna said. We are the people that share this message, that help the knowledge be passed on, and we give our students the confidence to stand up and speak their minds and say what they need to say. We have investors like Mr. Beast, who philanthropists who give a lot of money away to good causes. Then, and they of course are the investors. The influencers are the educators. The community organisers are the connectors, because everybody's connected through these people. These ideas are all connected and they're seen and they're heard. And then we have the inventors as well. So there are so many different types of changemaker. There are different traits to changemakers. Now, I imagine that all of you here are thinking, I wonder if I'm a changemaker or if I'm not. We can all take steps to be a changemaker. It's not a hard thing to do. We can keep doing it and we can keep going and we can keep trying to make a difference. Like Ritik says, small steps to inspire people around you. Inspire your parents, inspire your friends. Make those small changes. Over the next, there's 12 lessons, and so that's 24 weeks. We're going to be looking at lots of different ways we can do this. Lots of different ways to solve, find our passions and make a difference there. We'll have a look soon, but we've got music, we've got food, we've got art, we've got business, we've got eco-anxiety, we've got school, we've got so many different things, and sport as well. So to wrap up, if you are a fan of Renewable English, if you have ever been before, you'll know we have Ali's top tips. In this series, we're going to be doing some top tips, but we're also going to be doing some of Ali's thoughts. And Ali's thought for today is coming at you right now.
Everyone has change making in their DNA. It's just a matter of unlocking it. The good news is that you've got the keys.
So there we go. That was Ali throwing some keys around with a litter picker today. So that's her thought. That everybody has change making in their DNA. It's just a matter of unlocking it. The good thing is you've got the key. So if you are a teacher, you have the key to unlock this passion in your students. If you are a student, you have the key to unlock the passion within yourself. Don't be afraid of standing up and speaking up, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. We all make mistakes. As long as what you're doing is for good and you're trying to make a change for the better, then you're doing the right thing. A quick reminder, give us a follow, tell us what you think, write anything you want in the chat box below, give us a like, hit the bell, subscribe away, tell all your friends. If you missed it, if you're watching back, share it with everybody. Brilliant to be back. I can't believe how happy I am to be back in the Renewable English classroom with you wonderful people. And of course, if you fancy it, feel free to buy us a coffee. You don't have to, but it might be nice. We can fill the mug again. And that, everybody, is that. I thank you for joining us, and I'm going to take my leave.